It's Happy Hour again from Uptown New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know, however, is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limousine or just got out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you. Because that's New Orleans, and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common. Other than we're all New Orleanians in a bar today, we're at the fabulous Wayfair on Ferret Street, which is just down from Napoleon Avenue and, of course, across from the fabulous European Wax Center.
It's new.
Isn't it great? The European Wax Center is, we're not quite sure what they do.
They're getting a lot of free promo from you now.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. All our 4 listeners have heard that now twice.
Yeah, and they're silky smooth these days. Yeah.
This is our second week in a row. So Maggie Kerner is here. Maggie, have you ever had anything waxed off you?
Yeah. Oh, no. What a great first question.
Well, it is sort of a, the
course.
icebreaker. Of course.
Yeah.
Why do you say of course? Is that something you like to do?
No. It's not something I like to do.
I can't imagine anybody would like to do it.
I bet there are people.
Yeah.
Do you think, like fetishists?
Jollies come in all forms,
Victoria Coy is here as well. Victoria, have you ever had anything waxed off of you?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not, no way.
It just seems like a lot of torture. Well, I'm afraid that I would get started and then not complete the act.
Oh, you mean just
be
get
stuck
one
there.
half done?
Yeah, that's right.
So you
be
have-
stuck with the little strips.
Just hire somebody to do it.
I can't. No. I'm not gonna.
Do you do it yourself?
No, I go to my friend Erin. She's an esthetician, and she does it for me.
Erin, the esthetician.
Yeah.
Unless esthetician means anesthetician.
There we go.
That's the one.
That's the one.
That's the only way I do it.
You'd have to be knocked out to have
Completely
someone
under.
wax hair off you.
Yeah, sure.
But
Yeah.
you're talking about pubic hair. I mean, they do all sorts of hair, right?
Anything.
No, I was
no,
talking-
really anything.
What are
yeah.
you talking about?
I was talking about more like my mustache.
Your face.
Yeah, I got a mustache.
Do you? How bad would it be if you didn't wax it?
Not bad at all.
Like
it's like
mine
only
or
something
Andrew's,
that like no, not as bad as Andrew.
What do you mean bad as Andrew? What do you mean? What are you saying?
You're right. Not as
as
luscious and
masculine.
not as luscious
Yeah.
and thick as Andrew.
And what about
Thanks.
Jay Miguez is here as well. Hey, Jay, you have a mustache as well. Have you ever had anything waxed off of you?
I have not had anything waxed off of me. I have a low tolerance for pain, so that's just not
How
even
low?
on me.
What can you tolerate? How much? When you go to the
tequila.
doctor, when you go to the doctor, they have that chart that says
Right.
what kind of pain are you suffering from 1 to 10. It's got that little smiley face at 1, and then 10 has got a person like red with
The
tears.
red one? Yeah, I always circle the red one, no matter what I do. Every time I walk in there, I just circle the red one.
Just to
I'm
be
done.
safe.
Yeah.
What was the last time you went to the doctor and had a pain measurement?
Probably about 6 months ago.
What'd you have wrong?
I had some issues with my heart. But, yeah, it was serious. Though.
Did you have any heart pain? Like
I didn't have heart pain. I had chest pain.
chest pain?
Yeah,
was
stress, growing old,
Was
all
a
that
woman involved in this?
It was not.
Wasn't heartbreak?
It was not heartbreak.
So it was just self-induced.
It was totally self-induced.
And what was the cause of it? Stress.
Stress.
Well, I can see why, because, I have all this information about everybody here.
It's
It
your
says here-
crack research team.
Yeah, our crack research team here, which, by the way, our crack research team is currently in Mexico, if you're wondering where the producer of our show is.
Okay.
Mexico. Did you know she was going to Mexico?
Nope.
Grant?
Didn't
Me
know.
neither. I got an email. I got CC'd on an email.
Did she know she was
that
going to
said-
Mexico?
I don't know. I got CC'd on an email that said, by the way, I'm in Mexico, so I don't have any internet. Wasn't even to me,
Oh.
just the CC. So
There's nice
Is she in a
little flame
Mexican
trip.
jail? She doesn't have any internet?
I don't know. She's on a Mexican radio, maybe. Do you remember that song?
Yes.
Who was that?
I want a Mexican radio.
Yeah.
That was a little bit of trivia. I don't remember the band, but
Maggie
that
Kerner,
was,
you're a professional singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
You spent 2 years
He
fronting.
just didn't even let you finish
You
that.
spent fronting the.
I don't know who it is. Honestly.
You don't know either.
Oh, but I was going to give you a little piece of trivia.
Okay.
That was the first music video ever played on MTV.
No, it
No,
wasn't.
it wasn't. Buggles.
His video killed
That
the
was the
radio
Buggles.
star.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Thanks for checking me
But
there.
it might have been
Yeah.
the second.
Second time.
Why did I think that was the same song?
Crazy,
I don't know.
Mic drop.
Radio killed the radio
Right.
star. It's
Why
almost
does
like
that
their
song
melodies
sucks?
are boring
Well, that
together,
song-
and maybe
The
that's why
Buggles song sucks,
compared
and
them.
the Mexican radio song's pretty good, isn't it?
It is fun. I don't know. It's
Better
fun.
than the Buggles. Buggles
It
one
sounds
was,
outlaw-ish,
right.
which I don't know.
Do you know that song, Maggie? You're a singer as well.
I don't know that one, though.
You don't know Mexican
I don't
radio?
think I do.
Oh,
I'm terrible with the
Asher will
names.
find it. Asher's got 2 pairs of headphones on today. Anyway, so Jay, it says here that you're a business consultant who is an advisor to accelerators, investment funds, angel investors, and promising startups.
I do all of that and have done all of that for the last 16 years, but I'm currently the CEO of a music technology company.
Oh,
Cool.
it doesn't even say that here.
Let's talk. What's that about?
Yeah, what is it?
So I run a company called VL Group. And
VL Group.
Yep,
Yeah.
and like very loud. And what we do is we have a platform that allows people to stream and download, music or actually anything. But we're B2B, so you don't know we're in the background. But if you got an app that's playing music, sometimes it's being powered by us.
So you have a sort of software that powers other people's apps.
Yep, that's exactly what we do. And we've got about 22 million tracks from all the majors and most of the large independent distributors.
Of 22 million tracks of music that you have the rights to. So you're like a Muzak type provider?
I guess kind of, yeah. Except
Perhaps we shouldn't use the word Muzak.
yeah,
I
that's
assume, right? That's the competitor.
It's
right?
both.
Sure.
It's both dating us. As well.
Okay. What is it called now then?
Rockbot's one of our clients.
Rockbot.
Yeah, so if you've been at the Bulldog here in New Orleans and you get to vote on what the next song is and any of the
No
Bulldogs,
way.
that's one of our clients.
Okay.
All that music comes through our technology.
So what is VL Group? That's the people who make the software.
So yes, we do the software platform that allows people to plug into it to provide streaming and
Well,
downloading.
this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's not written down here at all in this whole
There
3
you go.
paragraphs I have about you. Is that here in New Orleans?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
who
so-
started that? Are you one of the...
No, I'm not one of the founders. I actually joined the board about 2 years ago and was asked to step in as the CEO about 18 months ago.
Well, congratulations. So you're a big deal.
No.
You know how to make money for people.
Except
that-
for artists.
No, actually,
Noodles.
we pay a lot of money to artists every year. And I think one of the things that we're beginning to see is more independent artists getting smarter about how they can take advantage of technology.
Well, this
How
would be a
can
good
they-
2-minute conversation
How
right
can
now.
they take
Yeah.
advantage of that technology?
I mean, you want to get your music out there and heard, right? And so what now? I saw Maggie's purse earlier. She's carrying around CDs, right? People are putting together mixtapes. Like, that's not easy to pass around. I mean, what if you could just send out a link to somebody and hear all of your tracks? What if you could put an email capture on top of that so that you could grow your fan base and begin to manage it? But do it in a very simple way so you didn't have to be a technology person and a musician. You
Right.
could just be a musician with a really easy tool.
So I get that, but I'll start.
Do you
in
get
jest.
that, Maggie?
I'll start in jest by saying that my landlord hasn't been taking exposure for rent at all, which is disappointing. But seriously, Pandora is something that I think has worked for artists while they slept for a long time, using an algorithm that put them in touch with their demographic,
Right.
and that's pretty cool. But there's also this thing where this loophole has changed the business for music makers because it's taken away a large bit of this income that used to be about selling the ability to listen to a song, whether that be in a record or a downloadable form. Now there's a very serious and giant loophole, which is the majority, I imagine, of how people listen to music, which is streaming, and the artist doesn't make much money off of that. The good news is, like you said, there's somebody in Oregon who I didn't do much work to get in touch with, but they're a fan, and when I go play Oregon, they're going to come to that show.
Right.
Unfortunately, there has to be a tipping point where that starts to make sense to provide me the kind of money when I get to Oregon that would have, been enough for gas to start there.
Right. I mean, it works at a large scale. So
Yeah.
you've got examples. Coloring Book is going to basically win the Grammy for Best Album, and they didn't sell a single copy. Right. It's all through streaming. But you make very little money on streaming, especially when it's done in a radio-style way like a Pandora. I mean, right now the rates. This is my world, so
Yeah.
if it gets too nerdy, let me know. But right now the rates are a 17th of a cent
Right.
paid to the performance rights organization every time your song gets played.
Right. But that 17th of a cent doesn't go to the artist either. There's like a
that
couple
takes-
other
Right.
companies,
Well, it goes to the performance rights organizations, and if you're an artist and you've registered your song, you can get paid.
But
it
not
take-
that 17th of a
it
So
cent.
takes-
every
it takes a long time.
17 times that someone has listened to one of Andrew's songs, he'll get a penny.
Incorrect.
Incorrect.
That's
Less of a
what goes to the
penny.
performance
Okay.
right organization. But then
that's which you can qualify under if you do a Pandora style play, where it is randomly generated. It's not the same order every time, and you don't know what's next. You limit the number of times you can skip, all of that kind of stuff. When you do it under a Spotify model, it's much different.
Spotify pays way less than that, by the way.
No, they actually pay a little bit more because you have control of it, right? You can pick the exact song you want. You can do all of those things.
Right.
But again, it's not the artists that are negotiating with Spotify. It's, the labels are negotiating with Spotify, and the labels are negotiating on their behalf.
Okay, so what do you do all day?
I end up talking to labels and talking to labels
About
lawyers.
About what? About negotiating deals?
About trying to help entrepreneurs and others that are out there trying to develop new ways of experiencing music, getting them the access to share this music in a way that makes sense. I have a situation right now with a distributor that he wants a $50,000 minimum guarantee in order to get the access. The reason labels...
To what? To someone like you, too? Or someone huge?
To access their catalog, right? So their catalog, they say, you can use our catalog, but we want at least $50,000. Sounds great, except the reality is their catalog's not going to get used enough, which means I'm happy to pay artists, but I'm not going to pay $50,000 when I'm only using $30,000 of it for artists, and then the other 20 sits inside the label company.
So where does your money come from? You pay, so someone like who's licensing your technology, and how much are they paying you? Not you, the company. You're the CEO.
We pass the content costs directly on. So for us, whatever the label agreement is for us, that is what our clients pay.
But what I'm saying is, are you the record company of the current day? Are you the 21st century record company who's making tons of money on the back of artists who are getting paid a 17th of a cent?
No.
So you're not guilty of that?
No, we charge our clients 17%, and they turn around and pay
what
out.
are you making then? How do you get to be a CEO?
We get paid based on the technology that we're providing and the other services that are after around.
Well, who's making money in the music business now? You're not making any money either.
Spotify is beginning to figure it out, and my concern about that is I think they've got too much power right now. I mean, they're clearly becoming a label. I think labels are freaking out because they've lost their old model.
So Spotify's actually recording artists, their own artists.
Yeah, last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago, they just released a new category for stuff that's being recorded in their studios by their artists exclusively for their platform.
Well, that's what Netflix did.
That's exactly
Netflix
right.
and Amazon started making...
They're following the exact same model.
Right, so it makes a bit of sense. Is that bad for anybody if Netflix, if Amazon, what's it called? Spotify?
All you're doing, my
music?
concern about it is all you're doing is shifting the power from labels to these big aggregator platforms.
But it'll be exclusively, if I want to hear the new Andrew Duhon album, I'll have to get Spotify.
Right.
Yeah, I think if Spotify makes you a record, you're right. You're just shifting that power, and then Spotify has to figure out how to make that $50,000 back on 0.17 cents per stream.
But that might be good because they might actually push
great.
you a record out.
Well, that's
put
great.
it on the front page
and
of Spotify.
That $50,000 burden is now on the company that's realizing the 0.17.
So that might be an okay way to go. It does turn them into the the record company of
the new label.
Yeah, right.
Well, someone's going to do it, right?
Someone's going to be.
Someone's going to do it.
Yeah. So might as well be Spotify. Now you sing as well, Victoria.
I sing for my mental health. I'd say.
How's your mental health?
It's spotty. Yeah, sure. It's about as good as my music, which,
So you're a country singer. This is, by the way,
I am.
It's
got 4 chords, so that's what I do.
There's 4 chords in country music.
4.
I thought there's only 3 in rock
5.
and roll. Really?
3, yeah. 3
so
if you're
country
doing it
is
right.
1 chord more complex than rock and roll.
That's right. I play both kinds of music, country and western.
Okay. How'd you get into that? This is, by the way, a bio that I got from Graham before she decided to go to Mexico.
Cool.
This is your bio. I don't know if you wrote this or she wrote this. This is the best bio I've ever read of any person in the whole... How many years have we been doing this? 5 years, this show.
Why is that?
It's Scott. I could do a whole show just asking you one word at a time about this bio. I mean,
all right.
Pick anything off this, you guys. First of all, it says you're a non-profit consultant and organizer.
Yes.
Which sounds pretty worthy stuff.
Yes.
And then you read, and then it says the first thing is feel free to edit or elaborate as needed. Make me a horse trainer.
Oh, that's nice.
I want to be a horse trainer, and I don't have
why
time
don't we
to do
start
it.
there?
So
Shall we start there?
Yeah.
if you just
With
tell
horse
everybody
training?
that I'm a horse trainer, then they'll believe
Okay,
it.
so Victoria Coy is a horse trainer from the North Shore.
Fantastic.
Do you live on the North Shore? You have horses?
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm from Abita. My folks are still up there. Abita is a great little town, actually. Folks don't know. But I came down here for high school, and I've been here ever since.
Oh, that's got nothing
More
to
or
do
less.
with it. Wait till you hear the rest of it. Would you like me to pick just any sentence?
Go for it.
Shall I just start?
Got a lot of underlines there.
I started underlining it, and I thought
You
I'm just
did.
wasting my time because the whole thing. I should read the whole thing, but that's too long. It says, shall we start at the beginning, at when you were 5 years old?
Yeah, I staged
Or
my
should we
first protest at 5.
I staged my first political protest at age 5. It's gone that way ever since. In high school, I started the state's first gay-straight alliance. Which one are you, gay or straight?
Depends on the day.
Okay. I got kicked out for it and had to get National GLSEN Network. What is that, gay?
GLSEN. They were kind of the
GLSEN.
old school 90s organizers that came around after the Matthew Shepard incident. It's Gay, Lesbian, Straight Education Network. And I don't know where they are these days. I still kind of work in that field. And I haven't seen a GLSEN organizer in
Listen, what a great
years.
name.
And
So
I got-
Matthew Shepard, was he one of the people who was dragged behind a truck or something horrific?
He was tied to a fence.
Tied to it.
That's the one. In 97, I think.
Okay. Oh, my goodness. Okay, anyway. So what was your political protest at the age of 5? Well, you refused to do it.
It was mostly me being a spoiled brat. I knew that the Gulf War had just started because my parents had it on all the time. And it was the day of the stuff blowing up, and I knew
Shock
that.
and awe.
Yeah, right.
Was that
Whatever.
shock and awe war?
No, shock and awe was Iraq, but it was the equivalent
What's
of
the Gulf
that.
War? What did
and
we
the
do in
Gulf
that
War.
one?
I think we blew
were
up
we
a
in
bunch
that?
of oil pipelines.
Yeah, that was the first Bush.
I was 5. You tell me.
What the hell were we
Desert
doing?
Storm?
I can't remember. Jay, you know anything about
We
it?
lit all the oil fields on
We
fire.
lit the oil fields, yeah, so they
What was
couldn't
it?
use it to
What was the
raise
object? Oh,
money.
because somebody...
They were using it for revenue to fund their side. So we
Who are we talking about?
Kurdish?
Iraq.
To be fair, I don't totally remember.
Wasn't it Iraq that invaded Kuwait?
Yeah, that sounds
That's
right.
why we did
Kuwaitis,
Maggie.
Yep, Kuwaitis is right.
Do you know anything about this, Maggie? No.
I wasn't born yet.
You weren't born when
I
you
don't
were...
think so.
What year were you born in?
86? So maybe I was.
86?
Yeah, you were
Oh,
5.
think
I was
you were-
5.
I'm 86 as
So-
well.
Well, maybe I should have been having a protest with you, but
Oh, so they put on cartoons after school, and I was apparently could not be bothered with that. And I got myself and 2 of my little 5-year-old friends to stand up and turn our backs and sit down with our arms folded, which must have been absolutely bizarre in kindergarten.
In kindergarten?
Yeah,
Because you wanted to see the war
I wanted to see the war instead of
the
Scooby-Doo.
cartoons.
Right, yeah.
amazing.
Where,
I like
and this
that.
was in Abita Springs.
This was in Abita.
Where were you, Maggie,
Yeah.
when you were 5?
Shreveport, Louisiana.
Not so different.
Not so different.
Yeah, nice.
What were you doing during the Gulf War?
When I was
When you were
5,
5, yeah.
kindergarten, learning my ABCs.
Where were you, Andrew, during the... I don't even remember what the Gulf War was. Which one was? That's so confusing now. We've been at war. Do you know that we've
Isn't
been at
that
war for
Desert
16
Storm?
years?
Wasn't that
It was a
the,
desert storm.
yeah?
That was Desert
Yeah,
Storm.
I remember being in kindergarten. I remember the priest or the chaplain at our school was walking around in his army fatigues because he was volunteering as an army chaplain. So I remember distinctly what the Desert Storm
That might have been 'cause you-
camouflage
that
was.
might have been
It was
'cause you were
like-
in juvie.
it was tan with these little
Tan.
squares of white.
Oh, that was what desert camo was.
Yeah, I guess so,
Compared
yeah.
to the Shreveport camo
I
where you
must
go
have been
duck-
super sheltered. I don't remember any war.
Well, your chaplain just wasn't in the army, is all.
Well, I don't
That's the
remember
only
anything
part I
from
remember.
5 either. I mean, it's pretty unusual to remember stuff at 5 years old.
Oh,
isn't
my
it?
parents have not let me live it down.
I bet.
It became something of a story. Yeah.
I bet. But
Yeah.
some other great sentences in here. Okay, so how am I doing for time? Okay, it's time. We have to get on to
Oh,
playing
yeah.
a song. Otherwise, things start to go bad around
Yeah.
for me.
They always
Okay,
go
so
off the
Meg, I
rails.
have to talk to you for a couple of minutes as a way of introducing the fact that you're going to make me play a song
Okay.
at 15 minutes past the hour, which we've already skipped. And then I'm going to come back and talk about pygmies, okay?
Absolutely.
All right. Just remember that. This is perhaps one of the best sentences we've ever had on this show.
Okay.
It's got pygmies in it, okay? So Maggie is a very accomplished singer-songwriter. You guys, I'm sure you all know who she is. She probably you know her from being the front person for Galactic. That's probably how most people know you. Would it be?
Maybe.
What
In New
what-
Orleans.
Well, yeah, we're in New Orleans.
Yeah. Sure, yes.
Where do most people know you around the country then? Outside New Orleans.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe half Galactic, half people. I don't know.
Well, when you go play a show, you're fronting your own band now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what's that called? What's your own band called?
My name.
Just Maggie Kerner.
Mm-hmm.
Koerner. And where can people steal your music?
iTunes, Spotify.
Well, iTunes, you can't steal it, though. Are they buying?
you're right,
Are
you're
they
right.
buying any stuff? Do you get paid anything from these?
But
You do,
it's very few. The checks are not large and they're few and far between. So.
Yeah.
It's mostly, the only way to make money, substantial money these days, is licensing.
To
Sync licenses.
Sync licensing to get your song into a commercial or a movie or soundtrack.
and
Or
who does that? How do you get that?
publishing. A lot of publishing or labels have sync departments. Yeah, they're
So-
like dedicated to. You know more probably.
Trying to figure out if
Yeah.
Maggie's song is the right one to put behind the next car commercial.
I don't know about car commercial, but I'll take it.
What would you think of your stuff would be suitable for sound?
My music is very cinematic. I always see it like in some like
movies.
scene in a movie, or it's like
How
I
would-
get to play with such talented guys, the guys that I play with, and they create these just gorgeous sounds behind me, and it takes you on a journey. It's beautiful.
How would you get your song into a movie? What's the process for that? Do you have an agent or Jay?
Yeah.
You're looking at Jay?
There's a music supervisor that's assigned
Yeah, it's
to
a
most
music,
of
yeah.
it.
So I believe
Is it bribery?
my label would try to get my song to this music supervisor's hands. You know, it's all political, right? It's
Yeah.
like, hey, Sally. My
Relationships.
girl
It's,
Sally.
you know,
Like,
it's
hey, guys,
relationships.
look at this song. I think she'd be great in that new Shades of Grey or not. 50 Shades of Grey movie, you know. I don't know. That didn't happen. I just made that up.
But it would have
Yeah.
been good.
That would have been great.
Have you had songs in a movie?
The Galactic songs, yes.
Okay. What were
I
they?
co-wrote a song with Galactic called Hey Na Na, and then a song called Dala Diva. Dala Diva, and those two songs were licensed in
Right.
trailers or movies, stuff like that.
Okay. Now, before we go anywhere, on the palm of your hand,
Yeah.
actually on your finger, what is that, your fourth finger?
The fourth finger.
You have the number 4 tattooed. Is it?
Yeah.
That's not pen, is it? That's a tattoo.
No, that is a tattoo.
How did that tattoo get there, first of all? Who did it?
A man in the Basque Country
In the Basque Country
in
Spain.
I think we were in Vitoria. I was with an ex-boyfriend, but we were on a romantic trip together, and I always wanted the number 4 on my body somewhere. And this finger just kind of, it's a special thing between my father and I. And like this finger, and I was with him, and we were on this beautiful vacation. I just wanted to get it on this finger because it represents love to me, the number 4.
The number 4 represents love.
Yeah, it was the first weird thing that my dad and I realized that we had in common. Like, Dad, I'm obsessed. I love the number 4. You know, he's like, me too. And it wasn't something he taught me.
Right.
It's just this funny, cute
Where did you
memory
get,
I have.
Where did you get it from?
I don't know. I just, you know how you have a favorite color, you have favorite whatever. I just
You just like the number
very
4.
obsessed with the number 4, and would see things happening in 4s, or like I would see the number 4 at the grocery store, or I would be on the aisle and something would happen, or I would see the 4 and wherever I was. I don't know. It's like, have you ever read The Alchemist?
You guys read that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Jay's on it.
Yo, that's.
It's a great book, and they tell you to look for the signs, look for the omens.
You gotta do that.
You gotta find. Everybody has their own thing.
Do you have a number, Andrew?
Damn.
Does it recur? You have a
Pick one.
recurring
Just pick
number?
one.
4. Can I not take that
You
one?
can have 4. Yeah, there's a lot of 4s out there.
No, I can't have
4's
4.
taken.
Do you
No.
think it's weird that
Maggie's
4
got
is
4.
written in 3 lines?
You mean
Or is
3
it-
strokes?
3 strokes?
Or is it 2 lines if you just take a U-turn on one of the lines?
What?
Or rather a 90 degree. It could just kind of be a swoosh.
Yeah.
How do you do it in... You do it in 2, though. You do an L shape, and then you put a cross
That's
on
how
the
I make a 4.
bottom of the... Isn't it?
But
You make the triangle on the top or
No,
the
I-
open?
You
I
can
do the
the
open.
triangle one, too, but that's still... You have to pick up your pen and do 2 strokes, right? But it's 3 lines, is what you're saying. I never thought about that.
This
Have
was
you-
a big debate when I was drawing the tattoo to get just sketched
I was
on
just
me.
wondering that.
It was a big debate. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yours
How
is
you-
the open topped
but but again, I like squares more than triangles because it has 4 sides on a square, and a triangle has 3 sides. So I didn't want
Right.
the triangle 3 sides on my finger.
Same
This is just
form.
OCD, forms of OCD that I've learned to deal with in a healthy manner.
Do you have others?
We don't need to go into that.
We don't have to. What are they? Do you like line stuff up, or do you have to
No,
knock
no.
3 times before you go into a room or
No,
anything
I don't.
crazy?
It's nothing.
Nothing serious.
It's nothing serious. I've learned, like, my little things are good, actually. Like, the regimented cleaning or the little rituals I have in the morning, like making my coffee a certain way. It's good for me.
I
It's
think
not-
everybody has those. Though, don't
Yeah,
they? I
I think
that's OCD.
there's a spectrum. Like most things, there's a spectrum with OCD.
Right.
Yeah.
We're also going to talk about ammunition in a minute, but
Mm-hmm.
let's not go there right now. So you have ammunition around your neck. Is that ammo?
No, it's...
What is that?
It's a St. Claude jewelry necklace.
Oh, okay.
It's a sea urchin spine.
Sea urchin spine.
Cast in gold.
I sat on a sea urchin in Mexico once. Not as
You
good.
sat on one?
Better around your neck than
Yeah.
elsewhere on your body. I'll tell
I
you
sat
that.
on a sea urchin. That's not a sentence I've ever written down.
Yeah, it was no good at all. Bad news bears for days.
Do the little sticky things get in your ass?
Yeah, they do, and they don't
Like a
come out
cactus.
for like a minute.
They've
You're
got-
supposed
they've
to
got
put
spines
tape
or
on it
something,
and rip
right?
it out, and I didn't know that. And
You're
so,
supposed to put tape. You could have gone to goddamn European wax.
God,
If only we'd known.
It was atrocious.
Maggie, what are you going to
Yeah.
play?
I'm gonna play a new song off my new EP called Birds.
The song's called Birds, right?
Yes.
The album is called Dig Down Deep,
Yes.
which is available on all these various
Mm-hmm.
places.
I'm worried you won't be able to hear my guitar.
We're good. Yeah, we can swing this around. Let's try it.
We were birds of a different song. We were speaking a common tongue. We were built on the shifting sands, so blind to our circumstance. You and I were made for the garden, but you and I were destined to fall. You and I may end where we started, but you and I were never too small. We were never too small. No peace when the sirens call. No love when my will is gone. No one who will pay my debts. No comfort from cigarettes. You and I were made for the garden, but you and I, we were destined to fall. You and I may end where we started, but you and I were never too small. Oh Lord, I feel like I'm lost in the crowd. My heart in my hands and my head in the cloud. Ooh, Lord, I feel like I'm lost in the crowd. My heart in my hand in my head in the clouds. I'll never come down. I'll never come down. 'Cause you and I were made for the garden, but you and I were destined to fall. You and I may end where we started, but you and I were never too small.
Oh, my goodness. Heavens. Maggie. Isn't it amazing that you can be sitting here and talking to someone and having a normal conversation and they can pick up a guitar and do that?
yeah.
Jesus, you're amazing.
Thanks.
That's beautiful.
Let's just do that for the remaining 30
Yeah,
minutes.
okay.
That'll be fun.
Just keep playing.
I cede my time.
Wow. Wow.
So the filibuster of folk.
Yeah. So before we came on here, we were talking about what to play and who's going to play what, and you were saying that I can't really play the guitar, but I thought you were just being
I really can't play
being
the
modest,
guitar.
but you really can't.
I can't at all. Like, I'm
You
horrible.
just have one thumb.
I just like
Playing
I'm
from the top.
I'm so bad that I'm like it's embarrassing, and everybody's like, "Why do you play in public?" And I'm like, "Sometimes you got to play a podcast, and it's for
But it's-
free, and you can't hire a musician."
But it's super
And if I
cool.
known Andrew was going to be here, I would have been like, "Hey,
It's-
man, hey."
Well, But you know who I saw playing like that? Who was the guy who played at Woodstock? Whose name I can't
With
remember.
the thumb?
Yeah, with the thumb.
Didn't Hendrix do a lot of thumbs?
Bush.
What's his name? No,
Jimmy-
it wasn't Jimmy Hendrix.
No, it was
It was some incredible. He played
came to
Here
Jazz
Comes the
Fest.
Sun. He came to
Yeah.
Jazz Fest.
Bush.
He played Here Comes the Sun at Woodstock.
What was his name?
Oh, that's so bad that we can't think of his name.
Yeah.
Well, this is obviously the happy hour show.
Richie Havens.
We're all
Richie
at the
Havens,
bottom
yeah,
of one
Richie
Yes,
string.
it
Was
wasn't
Richie
Richie
Havens?
Havens.
I was
Richie
thinking
Havens.
of somebody
Who
else.
else?
You were thinking of Bushy One String.
Yeah, that's what I was
Ah,
thinking.
that
That's a
guy is
newer
great.
guy,
Because
yeah.
I think Bush.
He's from Jamaica.
Yeah, he opened up for Galactic for a
Okay,
few
yes.
shows that I was on.
Oh,
It was
He is-
really fun.
Yeah.
He's
You know,
fantastic.
It was
He's
fun.
good. He
Yeah.
smoked pot with-
Jamaican weed. Yeah.
I have my claim to fame with him is I reduced him to tears.
Oh, that's nice.
I asked him a question about his father and he started crying.
Yeah.
Isn't that terrible?
Did you
Yeah.
Is it
feel
interesting?
good about that, or did you feel?
Yeah, I did.
was
I
it-
felt great. I thought, well, I really got through to this.
as a journalist,
guy.
yeah, sure.
yeah.
Or were you
Really
just
effective.
hanging out at a?
No, it was at Jazz Fest. It was an interview at Jazz Fest, and
An
he was
interview, yeah.
playing. And we know there's an interview
Oh, right.
stage.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Right.
So
What
I
was
got-
that? How did he break into? Because everybody was over the moon about him that Jazz Fest. I remember who
Yeah,
who
that's
kind of
right.
found him and brought him into the scene.
I guess Quint or somebody
Yeah, it must have been.
went over to
Somebody
Jamaica
was-
and
yeah.
saw him and brought him back. And
Yeah.
he was a Jazz Fest hit.
Yeah, he did a Tiny Desk concert. I saw that.
Yeah, he's great, and he just plays that guitar with one string
Yeah,
on
he's
it.
really nice. I told him, I was like, hey, man, I kind of play the guitar like you. He gave me a couple of tips, but, I mean, he's much better than I am.
Well, I don't know if he is because you've got 6 strings. You're 6 times
You played
better,
all
or
six
is it?
just now too, so you
Yeah.
know
Yeah, I thought actually it
Incorrectly.
sounded great. How do you write though?
that sounded beautiful.
I write. That's why I play the way that I do. I know that I'm a vocalist. And I know that I'm a writer, and I think that there's so many other amazing dudes that I get to play with that have studied guitar their whole life. So I never really tried to become better at guitar. I just play enough on guitar and piano or bass to write songs,
Right.
and then bring them to people and be like, okay, this is this idea that I have. This is the song that I have. Help me make it better.
Right. I guess you can do that if you have such an incredible song. A lot of guys wouldn't want to help you do that unless it was awesome.
Really?
Oh, wouldn't you think? I mean, who wants to
Sure.
work on
Are
someone
you
else's song
paying
that isn't
them?
all that good?
Because I've seen some awful bands.
If you help me write a song, you just get songwriting credit, half and half.
So you share the credit on all your songs, even though
if you helped me write it, you get.
But haven't you written it? You just bring it to someone and saying, "I need you to help
I
me
mean,
figure out what chords go on this thing."
If it's a co-writing session, I will bring a song that I
okay.
have figured out.
That's how it works.
Yeah, and if it's a song that I'm writing by myself, that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah. The funny thing is, from what I understand, the Nashville co-writing thing can be so rigid.
No, I won't. I have horrible stories about that.
Yeah, there are going to be 3 people in the room, and only 2 really
One-
add to the thing.
yeah.
But the other one just added to the vibe, so they get their 33%. You know, it's
I
that-
learned my lesson on that real quick.
Well, that's a whole political thing.
You do never share your music with somebody or a song with somebody that I got tricked. I won't go into it, but it's just like, yeah, you got to be careful with
Well,
people.
you went to Nashville to write with
I didn't go
somebody.
to Nashville. It was just a Nashville writer who happened to be in New Orleans.
But you know what's nice is when you deal on a local level, like the NOLA thing. I'm not going to say the difference between New Orleans and Nashville. It's probably just the difference between my closer.
No, I
more
totally agree with
familiar
what you're about
community.
to say.
You know, that you can play a song that you're working on with someone, and they can play one for you, and you can be mutually helpful to each other and say, "That's your tune, but let me give you some tips."
Yeah.
Right,
And that's just not.
That's called being a
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think it's called being artistic colleagues who believe in each other.
Having
and,
some
you know,
damn integrity too.
I mean, yeah,
But
but
when
you can
it's-
see where Nashville needs to keep it simplistic because it gets hairy if you try to chop it up into. Well, I had 4 lines in this verse and you only had 3. You know, it can get a little weird, but
But Nashville works on greater than and less than, though. If you're working with someone who's a big shot writer working with someone who's not
well,
a
that's
big
the thing.
shot, it's
so,
all
so
political.
it is about getting in the door, though. It is hard. You're right, political to get the writing session, but once you're in the writing session, it's 50-50, which is
really?
why the big wig will, if they sign on the young sprite to come in and spend an hour trying to write they'll tell the young sprite, "Give me your best song. What's your best tune
Yeah,
you got?"
that's what
right
happened
now?"
to me.
That's what happened to
And,
you.
That's what happened to
Right.
me.
And and then they'll try to throw a couple of lines in there and take 50%.
But what happened to me was that my guy added not a single thing, not a
Yeah.
lyric, not a change, not a nothing.
But he'll put his name on it and get it covered by Kenny Chesney. That's the thing, right?
He suggested he was like, maybe you just take a break there and don't sing for a little bit. And he wanted 50% of my song.
Yeah,
and he
but-
wrote no lyric, he wrote no melody.
Yeah, but what
Yeah.
you get for that, though, is it goes to his agent, and then his
well,
agent gets it to Kenny
maybe.
Chesney, whereas
No,
you couldn't get it to
maybe,
Kenny. Isn't
but
that
not
the theory?
necessarily, not
No,
necessarily.
I didn't. Honestly, I killed the song. I didn't even want to deal with it. Like,
Right.
I didn't want to even let it get to the levels where I was hiring lawyers. Like, I
Right.
killed the song. I made it go nowhere because
But-
it was
yeah, but
so
if you-
infuriating to me that somebody stole
Nashville
from me.
grew up differently on the music side, right? They grew up with a really clear split between songwriters and musicians. That's, I mean,
Yes, and I am from Louisiana.
exactly. Like down here,
Okay.
you play and
You show
write
your best
songs,
friend
right?
your song
Yeah.
at the bar, and you're like, "What do you think?" And
Yeah,
you never
it's
think
just
twice
a
that somebody's
very
going to steal
different-
it.
Yeah.
It's different, but
Yeah, but if you want to work in Nashville, you got to sell out.
I don't really
You
want
got
to
to sell
work
out.
in Nashville.
You got to sell out and be.
I don't
like
really
a-
want to go.
be a
I never did.
corporate-
I never probably
be a
will.
corporate show.
I won't go as
Nah.
far to say that I hate Nashville. I just have never fully appreciated it, and I preferred the soul of New Orleans.
Yeah.
When I was choosing to move from Shreveport, I was like,
Yeah.
I prefer soul
That's right.
over business
Over
and money.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't want to make a whole lot of money out of songwriting, then there's no point in going to Nashville because that's all they do. And all those songs sound pretty
Similar.
similar.
I mean,
It's not
you know,
like you're
it's-
contributing
They
much
just
to
mix
the.
them up.
It's not
and
that stark. You know,
Mad
there's
Libs.
like Nashville's a big place with burbs and shades of gray. So,
So many
certainly,
burbs.
if you want to write that kind of song that you hope gets on the kind of pop country radio that exists today, then you can go down that street. But there are plenty other streets in Nashville. You know,
I haven't discovered them yet. I would love for you to show
I
me
don't
them.
know
Let's go.
about
I
that.
got some bars we can hang out at. The
Is
Five
I
there-
would
Star.
love to
Let's
see
go.
them. Will
Yeah.
you please show me?
Please,
Yeah.
yeah, let's do it.
Because I feel like that's also a part of it. Like I've always had just really negative experiences in Nashville.
Yeah.
And people could say that about New Orleans.
There are bars
True.
and places we could go where we could say exactly what we just said,
Yeah.
and they would nod their head and say, "Yeah, come on, let me show you what the deal is." You know,
Okay.
yeah.
Is there an alternative country industry where there's people recording those songs?
Absolutely.
There is.
Wait. What do you mean recording
Well,
what songs?
recording the songs where
Oh,
the people hang out in the
absolutely.
bars that you know.
Yeah,
There is.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, talking of country music, among other things, Victoria Coy also sings country music.
This is funny that we've talked about it twice because it's 10% of my the things that I do.
I just want you to quote Blues Brothers again.
Did I? Did I do it?
Both kinds of music.
Oh,
right.
both
Oh, that
kinds
was
of music,
Blues
country
and
and
Western.
Western. Yeah, I grew up playing with my dad. My both sides of my family are out of Appalachia, so my grandmother taught him his first song, and he taught the same one to me, and so it's always been a family thing.
What number does your dad like?
That particular song was
Oh, I mean
That's
numerical.
Go with it. That was
Okay.
a really nice
That was a good-
misinterpretation.
good pun.
What number
Okay.
does he like? Look. Yeah.
Oh, right. No, yeah, that song was, shit, I'm blanking on it right now. Carter Family. I'm going to remember it as soon as I walk out of this bar. I'll text you.
As soon as you walk out.
You can send an, yeah, that's how when I try to remember
Yes.
something, that's how it goes.
What instruments
Wake
do you
up at
play?
midnight. Guitar, although
Oh, maybe
even
it was
worse.
Richie Havens.
You say that you play badly, and I thought that it was not at all. But
I can play better than that.
You play
I
worse
sing.
than that.
I prefer to sing.
You play worse than.
Oh yeah,
Than Maggie plays?
Maggie's
Okay.
actually a really
This is
great
pretty
player. Maggie's a great player.
I
Look
thought
at
it
these
sounded
fingernails,
great, too.
guys. Like
Let's have a look.
you
Does
can
make it
tell
sound
that I
long.
Can
don't.
we compare nubs?
Yeah, this is a guitar player. This is not a guitar player.
Okay.
This is vanity. Yeah,
But you
yeah,
do
but
sing
I
and
like to
play.
sing. I've got a great guitar player now in town, Matt Slusher from the South Austin Jug Band. He just moved here, and luckily I snatched him up first. So we have kind of a new project that's some bluegrass, some R&B, some blues.
What's it called?
Again, just my name, like Maggie's doing. So
Okay.
Isn't that kind of a weird question that you get all the time?
Yeah.
And I don't
What's
know. I never
so
know how
weird
to
about
answer.
that?
They're like, so what's the name of your band? Like everybody assumes that I have a band name.
What would be weird about that question?
It's not weird. It's just how weird answering it.
Oh, you need
Wait,
to.
What's
You
the
need,
name of your band? Maggie Kerner.
yeah,
Like I'm just saying my name to you. It's just it's weird for me, not for you. Just
weird for you.
It's just a weird
I see.
thing that we
so
have
you need
to-
to come up with an answer. It doesn't sound that weird to me to say that Maggie Kerner saying it's your name.
I don't know. It's
Maggie
like,
Kerner band.
it feels weird. I know what Maggie's talking about. It feels weird from your side, like you're saying, like Oh, it's the
Maggie Kerner.
It's basically Alan Toussaint, pretty much. I'm right up there with Alan Toussaint.
But yeah,
I'm not.
But I see what you're saying is you want to acknowledge the fact that you have a band. It's not all on you.
Yeah,
but actually it is all on you.
Well,
Because no one's going to hear the band. They're going to hear Maggie Kerner.
yeah, but I wouldn't sound good without my band. So
Right,
there.
but what are you going to do? Then you have to call it. Then you have to call it the.
Well, this is the part where we're not doing what Nashville does. When you go, you expect and you trust that the person singing, the person whose name it is, wrote the songs that you're hearing.
Right.
That's what happens in New Orleans. It's not, Nashville's taking on that too. People whose names are on the marquee haven't written the songs in Nashville.
Right.
And this is
Usually.
why I need to change the name of my band, because it's all cover stuff and old turn of the century stuff and not original. So I should change it. I'm open to suggestions. I'll be taking an email poll.
See, that's something
Okay.
Listeners are welcome to send me ideas.
I think it's a real advantage to have a band name to, suggest what it is that people are going
Absolutely.
to see, hear.
Yeah.
If it's
Yeah,
just
totally.
your name on a marquee and nobody knows it, if it's your name, then you could be that could be anything.
Yeah.
What is that? But if you can have a band name, I mean,
Well, what do you play?
I got
You
some
pl-
good ideas.
don't you
The
play on-
Denominators. I like that one. What do you think about the Denominators?
I'll
That's a good
text
one.
it
Sounds
to
like
Matt right
Dominators
now
would be,
and
you know.
see what he thinks. I'll
The
get back to you
denominator.
guys.
It's very hard to write that down. I don't know how to spell that.
Numerators would be better because they're on top.
I actually like the
Oh.
Denominators for that reason because
They're on bottom.
because it
underdog.
sounds
I
like
feel like we
Dominators,
just relieved a
but
lot
it makes
of-
you think of lowest
about y'all's
common
personalities.
denominator. Yeah.
The common denominators.
Yeah, exactly.
I
But you lose the just denominate. You'll
This is
get
almost
it,
a conversation from Spinal Tap.
Oh, yeah. This is a totally different.
We had to change our name from
Totally
the common
different thing.
Go out
denominators.
and have a boy. So,
What do you're just called your name, aren't you? Just going
Yeah.
out under
Yeah.
Andrew
yeah.
Duval?
And what really gets tough is when you decide to make merch, like T-shirts,
Right.
And then it's just your name,
Right.
And your face
Then you can't
on
wear
t-shirt.
them.
What are you
It's
gonna do?
awkward.
Can't wear
your
it.
own
Can't wear
t-shirt.
it. For
I have
sure.
one shirt of mine that I wear because it says Coyote on the front, but I won't wear it if my hair's in a ponytail because you can see my name on the neck.
Oh, boy.
And I just think it's so trashy. I just always think of Paris Hilton wearing the Paris Hilton shirt.
Nice.
Her face on her.
So you have a sort of a retiring personality, like you're sort of shy. You're not a self-promoter.
I've known Andrew since I was 18. I don't think I'm shy. I think I've gotten more reserved as I've gotten older.
You're not into self-promotion. And you don't want to.
Can I bring a sociological lens to
Oh,
this?
yes.
This
Yeah.
is totally a
Ooh.
gendered difference. So women are socialized to be very uncomfortable with self-promotion. And you see this from the boardroom all the way down. And
Yeah.
I think this is what Maggie's talking about. If
Yeah.
I might...
No, please.
I don't want to put words
My
in your
father
mouth.
tells me all the time, he's like, you do not promote yourself enough. And I just find it so
Yeah.
crass.
It's
Like in your
uncomfortable.
face as a woman being like, look at me, look at...
Yeah, so I work in politics, and this is something I run into all the time, too. As soon as I start going, look at these awesome things I'm doing, well, then you're the bitch, right? And you can, and then you're taken less seriously again.
I don't know. I'm always like, yeah, I totally understand what you're saying.
I think
do.
it's a very gendered
me, it's
thing
just-
that we see everywhere.
I always figured,
Very interesting.
yeah.
I think the subjectivity of art makes it difficult for anyone who is genuinely knee deep in their own creation to pop out and just be utterly confident in the creation itself. They can
Absolutely.
be confident in their quest.
I'm
you
confident
know?
on
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah, I think, yeah. I believe that Maggie is confident in her quest.
Right.
But
I mean, she
but
just
to-
sang in this
But you
restaurant
don't. But you
for
don't want to.
everybody.
You don't want to be
Yeah.
your own
I don't
promoter.
want to brag. I don't know. And I
Go
get,
for it, girl.
You don't want to
I
do
know.
your
My
own.
dad tells me all the time.
This
No, I
is
agree
when
with
I
you. You
train
don't
women
wanna-
leaders.
Because
it's
you
like,
told her, don't be
do
a
it.
diva, don't be a bitch, don't be a
That's
diva.
it.
And I've been called diva in the meanest ways before.
It's gendered. It's absolutely gendered.
Everyone needs a little Kanye.
Everybody
Just-
does.
That's
just
more
a-
psychological.
Just a little sprinkling, not the full lot,
Yeah.
but
It's
just
a little
little.
sprinkle.
to be
Kanye.
fair, I mean, there are plenty of male musicians you can think of who are super famous who wouldn't have anything to do, are uncomfortable talking to you. I've interviewed tons of them. They don't want to talk to you at all.
Yeah,
They want to get up on
absolutely.
stage, play the guitar, sing, and then get out of
Right.
it, and don't want to promote themselves, don't want to go
Yeah,
to an interview.
that's the goal.
They don't want to have their photo taken. They don't want to fuck with it at all.
That's
So
the
it's
goal. The
not-
Tom Petty goal is
Right.
the
It's
Tom
not
Petty
just
goal.
Let your art speak for itself,
Exactly.
and then
Right.
you don't have to say anything.
Right, that's not just a female thing in rock and roll anyway, I can tell you that for a fact. There's
Oh,
tons
yeah,
of guys who don't want to talk.
Of
She
So-
just
course.
made a point to the subject of what we were talking about, which I liked. But the Tom Petty is that I witnessed it myself at Hangout Music Fest. He arrives by a Tahoe or Escalade Suburban 5 minutes before he goes on. It's supposed to go on stage. Not even, maybe a minute.
Right.
Walks from the car Somebody puts a guitar on him to the stage, starts the show. When he's done, he gets off the stage and goes into that car immediately, and he is on a plane within 20 minutes.
It's actually his mom dropping him off.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Packed
would
him a
be
little
so
lunch in the
nice.
back
That's
and
right,
just,
yeah.
that's
I
good.
mean, I love to meet my fans and stuff, but it's not it's not fucking cool. And for me, like, I don't like to sit here and talk about myself and promote. It's like,
But we invited you on the show.
I know,
to
I
talk
totally
about
understand
you.
that, but you asked
So
me that I'm shy. It's more that
interesting.
I'm like just trying to like.
Well, that's the challenge for
Right.
musicians these days
Right.
because
Absolutely.
everything's getting pushed down to you guys. So it's not
Right.
a label talking about you anymore or anybody else.
Right.
It's you have to talk for yourself.
Yeah,
right.
you're right.
You're running the Twitter account. You're
I do
you're
that.
out
Well
there
said.
doing direct to
there's a-
fan, and so there's this
Right, they're used-
expectation. But I think listen, I'm an introvert. That's that. I mean, I wear that badge proudly, but and a lot of artists that I know are the exact same way, which is I love doing what I'm doing, but when I'm not doing it,
I'm in my house by
please,
myself.
yeah,
That's me. That's
it's
me.
just me and my dog,
Yeah,
and
that's me.
the only person I want to talk to.
Yep. Yeah.
But you can't do that and make a living in your business anymore.
But as a technologist, though, couldn't you isn't there something that you could come up with that would do this? I mean, there's Twitter.
Twitter.
There's obviously Twitter
I mean,
and
I'm
Facebook.
going to start putting up more Facebook Live videos and stuff like that from my house by myself. I can't figure it out in a way that is cool for me. But no, yeah.
But that's going to be uncomfortable too.
No, it's
probably.
not, because it's just be me and
No, you don't
myself
mind doing
recording
that.
myself. No, that's like my most favorite way. Just me and myself doing my
Well,
thing.
that probably works great, I would think.
Oh yeah, it's great.
I mean, that's the kind of thing people
It's
want
like you
on
have
Facebook.
like all these people looking at you, and you're on
Yeah.
the radio. It's a little weird, you know.
I'm making a mental note to Facebook follow you
Okay.
right now. I want to see all those live videos.
But I look at your stuff on SoundCloud. You have thousands, I mean, tens of thousands of people listening to your work on SoundCloud. So people
amazing.
are finding you somehow.
Finally, yeah, it's
Well,
amazing.
Yeah, it's exciting. And you look.
I
mean,
hope
there's
that it just
tons
keeps
of people.
growing and growing and growing.
But how do they find you?
I think through right now, I just released an EP, and my label is European, recouped through Ninja Tune.
European Wax.
Huh?
Is that the name of your label, European Wax
No.
Center?
What are you pointing at?
the waxing
across the
studio
street.
across the
Oh,
street.
sorry. Yeah, I don't have your
Right.
vision.
Contextual.
Yeah, I
No,
don't have
no,
the
you're
angle
you're
going
not
on.
facing it. But
I'm not facing it.
Wax used to be a name for records.
Yes.
And that would be a good
Right.
name for your
Vinyl.
record company, European Wax.
Yeah.
Maybe
Some
you
of
could
us
do it
might
like a
avoid it like
tie-in.
the
This
plague.
place has got to be paying us, right?
Really, I know we got to get these people on the show. Is the thing.
I guess
I'd
so,
like to
yeah.
know what the difference between European waxes and American waxing.
You can charge more.
Oh, yeah.
Other
it's
side,
definitely different.
other side of
Definitely
the
different.
street.
Yeah.
Maybe they drive on the other side.
Yeah. I wondered if a Brazilian blowout was just the opposite of a Brazilian wax.
True story. I think yes.
Yeah?
What's a Brazilian blowout? Is
Nope. Nope.
No, let's not do this, Grant.
A
You
Brazilian
figure on your own
blowout is
time.
when they
Maggie
straighten
will
your
help.
hair with this like weird chemical, and then it's like
Then
the
they
opposite of a
hair-
perm, actually, not the opposite of a wax. I know my spas. I know my.
Okay.
I get my mustache waxed. What I know what
So,
I'm
you
talking
really do.
about.
So if you wax off your moustache, doesn't it keep growing back and get worse? Or
No,
does
it thins out.
Gets better.
It gets better.
Okay. Interesting.
Every man,
Things we
I'm
don't
single
know.
right now. I just want y'all to know that.
Okay. Hey, listen. Are we going to do a country
and
song
mustache
here?
free for those of you
'Cause-
listening.
And mustache
I haven't-
smooth as a whistle.
Should we do a country song? Because I haven't got onto the pygmy situation yet.
Well, as long as you're comfortable doing this on the fly, we can give it a shot if you think.
We can do a verse and a chorus, and then you can do a song, Andrew. How about that?
Well, it's all. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, and then somebody can play the guitar behind my commercials, reading these commercials as well. How about that for an idea? I'm
Not me.
I'm not going to make. Maggie, you're not doing it. You're not doing it. Andrew can do it, and then
I didn't bring my kazoo, so
Are
I'm
you a
out.
good kazoo player?
I'm pretty good, yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right.
At least my dog thinks so.
What kind of dog have you got?
I've got a Rhodesian Ridgeback
Oh, they're nice.
that adopted me.
Oh, how'd you find him? Well, how did he find you?
She was running up and down St. Charles Street with no collar. And I got her across the street, and she trotted off, and I was like, all right, go find your home. And about 45 minutes later, she put her cold nose against me while I was
Wow.
sitting on the porch of a bar, and I was like, you're back.
That's your dog.
This means something,
Oh,
yes,
wow.
exactly. Pay
What's her
attention to
name
the
now?
signs.
Exactly.
Charlie
Charlie from St. Charles Avenue.
from St. Charles.
Okay.
And the commercial for the perfume, if you recall.
For the what?
The perfume?
St. Charles perfume.
No,
Charlie.
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 It's
Now
the
that's
kind of
something
fragrance
kinda
that's
wild.
here today.
Charlie. Yeah.
You just showed your age.
I did. That's right.
I only know that because of I love the '80s throwback show.
I was not 5 when the Gulf War broke out.
What was the Charlie thing? It's the kind of fragrance
It is,
that's here
there
to
was
stay.
a Charlie girl. I remember I was on Oprah. She talked about
Wasn't it? Wasn't that famous actress now?
Brooke Shields?
Someone like that.
It was somebody.
No, it was
The other one, the one was in
Candace.
51st Dates.
Drew Barrymore. No.
Drew
No, it
Barrymore.
wasn't.
Was she
It
Charlie
wasn't.
girl?
No, she
No,
wasn't.
that was Charlie's Angels. I
That was
think.
Charlie's Angels. Oh,
Yeah.
God. All right. Well, something close to it.
look good.
Hey, so listen, anyway, should we do these commercials and then we'll do a song and then I'm going to have to talk to you about pygmies. Victoria.
Pygmies, yeah, let's do Pygmies.
Okay. First we'll do a little bit of music,
I'm
then we'll
looking
come
forward
back.
to Pygmy.
Yeah, the Pygmies is... I've never had a bio with the word pygmy in it, so I'm fascinated about what we're doing.
You got
okay.
Pygmy and Fiji
This is going to take
in that
only
bio.
1 minute to do these commercials, and then we're coming back and doing a country music song from Victoria Coy and Andrew Duhon duo. And then we're discussing pygmies, and then probably we're going to have to move out of here at some point.
Yeah, I gotta get out.
Okay, you ready to go? Here we go. So today's show is brought to us by Basics Swim... Oh, hang on, you have to have that facing around there. You got to keep it going that way. Today's show is brought to us by Basics Swim and Gym. We can get a full range of fashion swimsuits, workout, and yoga clothes with style. You can get a bikini, you can get a one-piece, you can get a cover-up. Do you like a cover-up? Anybody?
I got a big butt. I like to show it off.
Okay. You can get everything you need for beach and poolside at Basics Swim and Gym's brand new store. It's next to the lingerie store. Basics underneath on Magazine Street between Whole Foods and Jefferson Avenue. Also, thanks very much to Hangover Destroyer, the only all-natural product that's medically proven to prevent a hangover. Pretty handy information going into the holidays. You can go to the Hangover Destroyer website yourself right from where you are now. It's called hdestroyer.com. You can write happy hour in the coupon code. You'll get 30% off of Hangover Destroyer, and you too can seize the dawn. Thank you to Hangover Destroyer and Basics Swim and Gym for making this last show of 2016 possible. It's all over in 2016 after we finish this conversation. Andrew Duhon playing music in the background
Everybody
as a
hated
precursor to the
2016.
fabulous country stylings of Victoria Coy from the band, otherwise known as Victoria Coy. I should say
Yeah,
the
we're working on it.
eponymous Victoria Coy band.
The what?
Eponymous, isn't that
The
the word?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's
Okay.
right.
What
All
are
right,
we,
we're gonna play.
what are we doing?
So this song is one of my super basic ones. So I wanted to play a brand new one, but instead we're gonna do the Bonnie Raitt and John Prine. I think actually written by John Prine. Angel from Montgomery. Tried and true. Get your
Maggie's
napkins.
favorite.
Somebody get your tissues. Yeah. I'm an old woman named after my mother. Old man is another child that's growing old. Dreams were thunder and lightning was desire. This old house would have burned down a long time ago. Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to. To believe in this living is just a hard way to go. I was a young girl, I had me a cowboy. He wasn't much to look at, just a free rambling man. That was a long time. No matter how I tried, oh, the years they just rolled by like a broken down dam. flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo, and just give me one thing that I can hold on to believe in this living is just a hard way to go.
Very nice indeed.
Yay.
Hey, Thomas, what happened to my... I'm back. Thanks. That was beautiful.
Thanks for
Victoria
singing
Coy
with
and
me,
Andrew
Maggie.
Duhon with
Yeah.
backing
And Andrew,
vocals
how
by
fun was
Maggie
that?
Kerner.
That was so lovely.
I managed to
love it.
weasel out of guitar playing. Did you notice that?
Wow, Andrew,
Weaseled right
Andrew
out.
did it for you. That was beautiful too. Nice playing as well,
Oh,
wasn't
yeah,
it?
I fucked it up a couple
Gorgeous.
of times. But yeah,
Who
it
would
was
know?
all right.
So Jay, you and I are so totally inadequate.
Yeah.
Can't play a guitar or sing or anything.
Happy birthday is about it
That's-
for me.
you
So
can-
that's the only
you can
one.
sing that?
Man, not according to people that are in the room.
No,
but
not even.
I think
Okay, so we'll leave
Yeah.
that out of it. Okay, so I did say, Andrew, you going to play something for us today?
I can, but you know, how much time do we have?
In as much time as you want. It's the last show of the
5
year.
minutes,
we
Andrew.
can
Oh, it's the
stay
last
here.
show of the year. God damn.
It's the last show of the year, so
say
we're
that.
going to go out with something pretty special. What are you thinking?
Shit, I don't know. Well, I want to do what I always do and just play you something new. It's not
Okay, so
finished.
what are you
it's just
thinking?
a draft here. Here we go.
This is exciting.
Can I help you with the lyrics so I can get songwriting credit?
Tell you what, if you help me out with the lyrics and then I don't give you songwriting credit, maybe we can call it even for the streaming thing.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, great. Well, I tell you what, Grant. How about a departure from my usual Sad Bastard songs? This one's kind of a feel-good. Maybe it's for the holidays. Maybe it's because I woke up one day, maybe a month or two ago, after certain political things had happened, and I had the thought that, you know what, from now on, it's about deeds and not words. And anyway, I had that thought in my mind, but this is something I don't know, I've been working on for a while. Maybe I'm still working on it. For now, it goes like this. What if love is just energy? Just like energy, it could neither be created or destroyed, but only passed on, transferred through the centuries. What would that mean for the love between you and me? What if it's all hand-me-down love? Ain't nothing new. What if it came from your great-grandmother to your grandmother to your mother to you? What if it's all tried and true love? 'Cause I've tried it new, but I've always been made a fool of. That's why I got to hand it to you, love. Who you gonna hand it on to? It's all hand-me-down love. And I start thinking there just ain't enough. That's when I start to store it up. But all the more reason to spread it out, pass it on, and just believe it comes back around. Oh, you just got to trust that it's all hand-me-down love. It ain't nothing new. It all came from your great-grandmother to your
grandmother to your mother to you. It's all tried and true love. I've tried it new, but I've only been made a fool of. That's why I got to hand it to you, love. Now who you gonna hand it on? Who you gonna hand it on to, love? It's all hand me down, love.
Thanks, John.
Wow, Andrew, I think we're going out on an all-time high here, don't you? 2016.
Agreed.
This
I
has
tell
been
you
a pretty
what,
good
man, yeah,
musical.
nice little vibrant crowd,
show.
musical,
Yeah.
and like
This has been a pretty
even
good
the guy who didn't
three-
play music knows something about it. This is
Yeah,
fun.
he's in the
yeah.
music business.
Yeah, thank you for letting me be the least talented person at the table.
Get
I
out of
really
here.
appreciate
You
it.
figured out how to make the
we
money,
don't
man.
know that. You can make money for all these people here.
I'd like
That,
to.
that requires a lot of talent. I think that is a fucking great song, Andrew.
Thanks,
that
dude.
one.
He's
yeah.
one of
Awesome.
the
That's
best
fantastic.
That's
songwriters.
beautiful.
He isn't he?
So
Oh my
simple, too.
God.
Thanks,
He's one
Maggie.
of
Well,
our
you know,
greatest
Oh,
New
he's
Orleans
so
songwriters.
good.
So I'll
for
tell you
sure.
what, Maggie. Sometimes Grant will just put me on the spot, like right away when somebody plays. He'll just say, "What do you think, Andrew?" And you know, I'll usually have something prepared so I don't stutter and be like, it was good. You know, so, but you know, I was thinking, what would I say if he said something after you played? And I would say that there's a lot of subjectivity with art, but there are things sometimes that are undeniably great that you come across, and Maggie's voice is one of those things. You know?
Correct.
Yeah.
I think the same. I think the same about your songwriting as well, Andrew,
Thanks,
and
buddy.
your voice. Both of those. I think, and your voice is awesome too.
Thank you. Thanks
it
for
was-
letting me play.
We've had an
treat.
incredibly great musical day here today on Happy Hour. That's for sure.
More drinks.
No, I'm sober.
Not for long.
I got to say, looking back over this year and the whole show, there is a lot of great stuff about the show, and you have interesting conversations with interesting people, and we meet all kinds of people who do all kinds of things, but there's nothing quite like when a musician sits down here at this little table, and we're all pretty much, as you can see on our Facebook live feed if you want to go take a look, we're all pretty much shoulder to shoulder here, and you're really like looking right into somebody's eyes. When
very
to be able
intimate.
it's very intimate to be able to sit there and play and stare right into the eyes of the people who are looking at you. That's a really
Yeah.
incredibly
Totally.
brave thing to do, and to pull that off,
Love you, bud.
it's very
Love you
special.
back.
So, guys, thank you so much. Shall before we get out of here for 2016, shall I make Victoria tell us about her life with the Pygmies?
Yeah.
Real quick, it's got to be quick though. Yeah, elevator pitch on the
You
Pygmies.
have to be very quick. So, shall I read you the
A
sentence I
short
got in
story
this?
on Pygmies,
Read it. That'll pretty
really?
much be
Here's
it.
the
Elevator
sentence
Pygmies
I
is pretty
got.
much a good band name.
Here's the best story we're going to go out with on 2016. I couldn't do any better than this. You couldn't write better than this, even for your Hollywood movie that you wanted to put. This would be a good one for your song too.
God, I don't know about
This is what it says. I unexpectedly found myself in Fiji, where I unexpectedly moved to a remote mountain village with no power or water, and where I unexpectedly fell in love. I opened the country's first rural women's crisis center and accessible food co-op. This led to my job in the Congo Basin Forest of Cameroon on behalf of the Canadian government, teaching female and pygmy entrepreneurs economic diversification skills.
Wait, pygmy's not a gender. What do you mean, female and pygmy?
Way to pick up on that. Yeah, so pygmy actually is also a word that's not preferred. That's a little bit pejorative, but it's the easiest thing to say to Americans. They're the
Who wrote that?
Bagelli.
Did you write that?
I did, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. It's the easiest way to say it. They're the Bagelli ethnic group, but they are known as pygmies. They're the little people that live in the forest. So we worked with subjugated communities, so women of the Bantu ethnicity, the majority ethnicity.
This is in
and
Cameroon, which is a
pygmies.
country in Africa.
Yes. What I left out from that was that we were teaching them how to do guinea pig husbandry to raise
How
guinea
to
pigs.
get guiney
right.
pigs to
Yeah.
fuck each other.
Yeah. Oh, they did that.
Are you kidding me?
plenty.
Have you ever had a
Well,
guinea pig?
I've
They
had
don't need to be
600
taught.
guinea pigs. Because
Why would you
what
have to teach a guinea
happened-
pig?
Well, we were trying to teach the people how to raise them for food and sell them to restaurants. That was the big idea, to diversify off of logging, right? And then what happened was I was like, yeah, good idea, guys. How are we going to, oh, you mean that 600 guinea pigs are coming from the capital to my apartment?
Whoa.
Great, but they're gender separated, right? No, but they don't eat their young, right? Yes. great.
Oh my God.
So I had carnage. Like,
Oh my God.
we would load up the
Delivered
truck
to your house?
Yeah, I lived on the border of the forest, like the bush forest,
Yeah.
and so we'd load up the truck every day with like a bunch of guinea pigs and drive them out to our entrepreneurs in the bush.
Right.
And then we would just like toss the dead ones. We're just like throwing them out of, and I'm American, so I'm like cuddling one, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
this one is Fred.
Guinea
You know.
pigs. Papua
Oh
New
my
Guinea.
God.
What do they taste like?
Duh.
It was, yeah, in the training I went to, they only serve guinea pig to eat. And I stormed out. I caused a huge fuss in a
Are you
very
gonna say
American style.
They taste like chicken.
I never ate one. I got to
did you
avoid
turn your
eating
back
them.
on the guinea pigs like you did on the cartoons when you were 5 years old?
I eventually did. I was like, get them out of my apartment. They're all dead and eating each other. This is the worst. So, but a couple of the pygmy families really raised like a little herd of, and they were able to make money by selling them to the restaurants of all places. But
So if you're a
it was
pygmy,
bizarre.
do you only eat a small amount of food?
Yeah, well, I know that's a hoo-ha question, but
Well, not really. I mean, is a guinea pig going to fill you up if you're a pygmy?
well, they eat monkeys.
Or do they have the same
African
size
green
stomach as an
monkeys.
ordinary?
So
They eat monkeys.
yeah,
I ate
yeah.
horse once
You ate a horse?
I've had a horse.
in
Yeah.
Basque Country.
Yeah, they eat
Right.
horses.
It was delicious, and I'm sorry if that offends anybody. But I would never do it in America, obviously. But when in
Well,
Rome.
You can't do it in America.
No,
which
no,
makes
no.
no
Not
sense.
allowed to eat horses.
No.
here.
And that's why the cheese over in Europe is so much better too. Because
The cheese.
the FDA
Yeah, that's
got in the way.
right. That's right.
The cheese is better because of you can eat horses.
Well,
Oopsie.
I've lost.
Okay, that's
I
the end of
don't
our
see
show.
it. I don't
Let's
see
talk
the
about the
connection.
foods that I'd really like to take.
I
I'm
don't
going
see
to give
the-
a mad
what's
props
the
to
con-
pasteurization.
Hang
though.
on, what is the
Yeah.
connection between being able to eat a horse and good cheese?
So pasteurization, which is required over here.
Because you've got pasteurization. What do you mean by that? You don't have to pasteurize cheese in Europe, and you have to pasteurize it here.
Now, which
Unless
gives, which
you're
gives
a
you those
kills the
beautiful,
bacteria.
runny, stinky
Ah, I
cheese.
see.
It does give you the full runny stinkies.
I
That's
have
true.
a cheese phobia. Fun fact.
Means
Whoa.
you can't
Wow.
eat cheese.
I don't eat cheese.
You can't look at it even.
I friggin' hate cheese.
Friggin' hate cheese.
Even
Disgusting.
cheeses like
I have
name
two
number
safe,
4.
I have
like
two
would
safe
you just
foods.
would
No,
head
no, no.
explode?
I have two safe cheese foods, but
What
for
are
the
they?
most part.
Pizza. I
Pizza
hope.
and macaroni and Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Because there's
Well, at
no
least
real
you kept
cheese.
it
It's not
in
real.
it.
It's not real. Yeah.
Can you eat
You
any
maintain your
pizza or
street
just
cred.
Domino's that has no actual food in it?
I've never ordered from Domino's.
So what kind of a cheese can you eat on a pizza? Why would pizza cheese be different?
It's not. It's just
Why
all
can't-
up here, buddy.
Are you serious? You're that crazy that you can eat cheese
At
on a
least
pizza?
you know that.
I hate cheese.
You just don't like it.
I think it's disgusting.
Oh, well, okay.
Okay.
You don't like
prefer to be served on a bread triangle, you know. Then it
or
works. you know.
square because of
Ooh,
four
no, not
sides.
Sicilian.
It
No
has four,
Sicilian.
it has four sides.
But you can position the square so it looks like a triangle going in.
Not really.
Just point that corner right at
that
you.
would be a diamond.
Yeah, but you. Yeah.
I don't know. You'd have to show, do it on a piece of paper. But we can do it on this. Anyway, you can eat. You can eat cheese if it's on a pizza, but you can't eat cheese like
I
cheese
just
and
don't.
crackers.
No, it's not that
It's
I
on a
can't or
cracker.
cannot. It's that I
You're-
don't want to.
And
Because you
your
don't like
position
it.
on guinea pig. That's really
How's
where
your
we're-
position on guinea pig,
that's,
though?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
Okay.
Steamed in banana leaves.
Steamed in bananas.
But they
so
keep
you
the head
take,
on the top.
Another good band name, Guinea Pygmies. What do you
Guinea
think?
Nice. Very good. So they eat a whole guinea pig like in a po' boy style, or do you have it on rice? or what?
No, yeah, on rice, right, and steamed in banana leaves.
Steamed.
And then they have this random thing they call bush meat, and I never could figure out what animal that is, but it's
probably
like
a-
that big and rat-like.
Oh,
Ew.
It's like a nutria.
Yeah, it's some gargantuan nutria.
And big rodents on these islands.
And when you're out in the bush, oh, this wasn't Fiji, this was Cameroon, but when you're out in the bush, that's all they have for protein is like, well, gorilla, elephant, bush meat, whatever the hell that was. And
Bushmeat. How do you steam a guinea pig?
And a banana leaf.
In a banana leaf.
Yeah,
But
you
then
tie
what's
it
the
up like
implement?
a little, and then
Right.
you steam it.
Oh, what do you steam it in though? In a pot, like in a steamer, like a vegetable steamer? What
I
does
don't know.
that
I never
mean?
got to cook them.
You never did. You ate one.
No, they kept trying to
You
give
never ate
them
one?
to me. As the visitor,
What'd you eat?
they would give me the best guinea pig, and I was like, "Oh, that's so nice."
What did you eat while you were in Cameroon?
Not much.
Did you lose a lot of weight?
No, one would think what they do have that I was familiar with was mayonnaise. So I ate like mostly mayonnaise.
So if you
I was
slather
like,
mayonnaise
that,
on your
that's
guinea
what
pig,
I want. I just want that.
where'd they get the mayo from? What brand
They're a
was
French
it?
colony, you know. So
The French are big on mayo.
the French are huge on mayo. Somebody help me out. Who grew up in New Orleans and dipped
And
the
Bruce spends a
mayonnaise
lot
with
of
the ketchup?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Right?
I
That's
didn't
called
know that was a
cocktail
French
sauce
thing.
here.
Yeah.
It's a
isn't it?
French thing.
Oh.
It's a French thing.
Cocktail
yeah.
sauce.
Well, you
Kinda.
might call it a. What do we?
Sorry, I woke up at 6.
Well, you
Are
would
you-
say that's
are
kind of
you
like
yawning,
poor
Maggie?
man's.
You tired?
Poor man's
Been
Thousand
up
Island.
since 6 a.m.?
Poor man's Thousand
no,
Island.
No, what I was
That's
thinking,
exactly
yeah.
right.
Puppy.
No, there's a French word for that kind of tomato-based sauce that we put on remoulade, right?
Yeah, right.
Right. Sort of
Yeah,
like
the French
remoulade.
love them some mayonnaise.
Mm-hmm.
So
How
the
old-
French colonies are big on it.
Maggie, how old's your puppy?
10 weeks.
10 weeks. He's
Oh,
very
wow.
young. Oh, my
So
God.
amazing.
What
Jeez
sort of a
Louise.
dog is he or she?
He's a golden doodle, yes. I'm one of those people that went out and got
When
Gold
all
and
I
designer.
bought a designer
Nice.
dog.
So
I
posh.
know.
And the horse meat.
I know.
I don't know.
He was gonna field day with
One of
me.
my favorite dogs in the whole world is a golden doodle, Otis.
Yeah,
Do you want to meet Otis?
I would love to.
He's great.
I love to
What's your
introduce
dog's name?
Tom.
Tom and Otis. That sounds like a made in heaven, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like they'll have adventures and there'll be sitcoms about
I
it.
love introducing him to bigger golden doodles. 'Cause,
Well, I
like,
think you have to wait a few weeks until you're allowed to introduce them, right? You have to wait till they've had their shots or something.
Yeah, 10 weeks is, I think, still too young for all the shots.
no,
Or is
he
that
gets
8
his second
weeks?
round on Monday. But
That's it, yeah.
I let him associate with my friends' dogs.
All right.
It's good puppy socializing.
It's good socialization.
I take classes at the Bark Market. It's really cute.
The Bark Market.
The Bark Market.
Where's that?
Why isn't it just the Barket?
The Barket? Oh,
You're on a roll today, Andy.
They missed that one.
This is
That
what
was
I-
good.
this is
Yeah,
what I do.
That's
I
good
don't know.
stuff.
God dang it.
Band
right up.
names,
What
the
was-
whole thing.
Yeah.
Guinea Pygmy is probably a good one. I think Guinea Pygmy we might have to use in our
Can I
show
tell you
title.
about my favorite slogan, or we'd call that a slogan, that I've seen on a sign in New Orleans?
Yeah.
Is part of the French Quarter Veterinary. It just says, come, period, stay, period, heal, period.
Oh.
Just a little veterinary.
Does anybody remember
Come,
Wagner's
stay,
Meat?
Heal.
Remember their
Can't beat
slogan?
Wagner's
Can't be
Meat.
Wagner's Meat.
That's the
Yeah,
one.
it's, you know,
Can't
no.
What
beat
made you
Wagner's
think of
Meat.
Lowbrow,
that was
lowbrow.
your favorite New
Lowbrow.
Orleans
That was one
saying?
of my favorites, yeah.
Wasn't related
Come
to
stay
eating
heal, y'all. It's
dog.
awesome. Come on.
Come Stay Heal is also pretty
Yeah.
great.
Johnson's Furniture. Did y'all
What was
ever see
that?
the commercial? No.
Which one was that?
Never mind. I'm from Shreveport.
Oh, that was a Shreveport company. What was the commercial?
My favorite commercial was Diesel Driving Academy. Did y'all
Oh,
have that
that
commercial?
is great. Yes.
Call 1-800-555-8900. Diesel Driving Academy. No?
This must be
Yes.
a thing that you grew up
Well,
with because it doesn't do a whole lot.
We've had other people. We've had other people on the show say that too.
I hope that
Chris Boyd.
that
Chris
audio
Boyd.
gets me discovered.
Do you know Chris Boyd from Aptitude? He's an app
Chris
designer.
said that?
Chris
Yeah,
Boyd
that
from
makes sense,
Aptitude
yeah.
sang that commercial
Really?
on this show
Maybe I
at
should
about
meet this
100
woman.
decibels, though, at full blast. It was great. You can
You
go
want
back.
you
if
want to
search
talk
for
about
Chris
the power of music? That's exactly it.
Diesel
Jingle.
Driving Academy, right
Those
there.
kinds of, they
Listen,
stick with you.
Alison Moon is
forever.
our photographer, and she's delivering us the Christmas bark for the year. Our annual Alison Moon handmade Christmas bark
It's
with
delicious. I've already tried
chocolate
it.
and peppermint. It's
I love
awesome.
that she
Thank
brought
you
all the
so
snacks
much.
from home. It's the
Okay,
Thank
we've
you.
got
absolute
we've got to
cutest
go,
thing.
and Merry Christmas especially to
Merry Happy
Christina
holidays.
Walsh from Hands On Therapy.
Yeah.
If you need to get your back taken
I
care
do.
of. Okay, give her a call. Guys, it's all over for 2016. It's
thank
been
God.
quite a great
Good
year down
riddance.
here.
Peace
We've
the
had
fuck
our
out,
fabulous
right?
Facebook Live was inaugurated in 2016.
Oh, were we Facebook Live? I
Yeah,
should've
we've
said
been on
that.
Facebook Live the whole show. You can go back and look at yourself.
Ah.
And wish you'd worn that other jacket.
Yeah. I'm thinking, like, didn't I turn around and take a selfie at some point?
Uh-huh.
I think
It's
I made,
all
like,
up
that.
on the
I
internet
yawned
forever
like
now.
20 times. So.
Victoria Coy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
It's been
you.
great. Jamie Gez, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
And the great Maggie Kerner has been here as well. It's been a great happy hour. Thanks very much, everybody. That's it. It's all over for 2016. We'll be back here in a week or two for the 2017 and beyond for more happy hour. The producer of our show is Graham DePonte. Our music director is Christian Unruh, and our music producer is Jean Valois. Thomas Walsh is our technical director, and our live feed directors on Facebook Live are Asher Griffith and Grayson Jernigan. Our theme music was written by and is currently being played by Mitch Foreman. If you'd like to be on our show in 2017 or beyond, and you can stay upright for about an hour while drinking alcohol, drop us a line. Our address is on our website, itsneworleans.com, where you can also find many other hours of happy hour to entertain yourself with, as well as some other shows that we make here, including Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti, live from Commander's Palace, True to the Game with the hilarious Chris True, Midnight Menu Plus One with Margot Moss and the Man Who Ate New Orleans, Ray Canada, Louisiana Eats with Poppy Tooker, Milo's Music Parlor with Kim Vu, the podcast about death, simply called Death the Podcast, with psychologist Dr. Ariane Alphant, Questions from the Waiting Room with psychiatrist Nick Pajic, and many more besides. You can also find other great Louisiana podcasts at itsacadiana.com and itsbatonrouge.la. You can keep up with us on Facebook and on Twitter, and a bunch of other time-sucking social media as well, including Instagram, and all of it we're called It's New Orleans. You can find photos from this show on itsneworleans.com and on our Facebook page and Instagram. The photos are taken today by Alison Moon, who also made the peppermint bark. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast app, thank you very much for subscribing to us. Take a moment, if you can, to stop everything and rate and review us. That helps other people find us. It really does. Our show is recorded live today at the fabulous Wayfair on Ferret Street, where they have a 3-hour happy hour here every day and an awesome brunch on the weekends. Come on down and check it out. It's right near Napoleon Avenue. Happy Hour is a production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. For Andrew Duhon, everybody around the table here at Wayfair and back at our office at INO Broadcasting, thank you so much for joining us for the whole of 2016. And way before, there's 5 years of previous shows to listen to if you'd like. Come back and see us. We're back here in a week or two. Have a great holiday. We'll see you back here next time on Happy Hour.
Celebrate Venus Fashion Week and discover the new fall fashion collection while saving at Venus. This weekend only, spend $100 and get an additional $15 off. Spend $150 and get $30 off. Just go to Venus.com and use the promo code SWEATER to save today.